All right. Hello and welcome. My name is Benjamin Anjay, and this is the Should You Hire Licensed Agents or Train New Ones from Scratch video that I'm making for all my aspiring agency owners. Guys that maybe you just started insurance, but you want to have your own team, or you aspire to have your own team, or maybe you've tried and failed a few times and you want to try again. It's a process, and so this is the number one agency building dilemma that I ran into, um, and it's solved with real world data from 500K plus months. So here we go. I'm just gonna get started with this and let's do it. So who I am and why this matters, right? Because a lot of the times we get data feedback from people that maybe haven't experienced. And here's the thing: I am in by no means the authority in this space. I am by no means the guru or person that you need to take this advice from. This is just things that I went through. From someone that has been in the industry only about 2.5 years now, maybe a little less actually. Maybe it's still just 2 years. But the point being, these are my real life experiences, and this is what I was able to accomplish in the time that I have been in insurance. And I think it's a great vehicle for anybody that wants to make a career out of it, have time to later, once you've gotten this down and you're able to sell, being able to then scale and have a team and grow that team, and then create a business out of it where you can put less time but still leverage other people's time and the people that you grow and help invest into. It's a great way to make a living. So anyways, I have some proven results. I helped a company scale from doing Medicare insurance sales for maybe about a year and a half. But from the 0 mark to the 6 month mark, from the beginning to the 6 month mark, I was able to help it go from about 56K a month in revenue it was making to about 500K in revenue a month in just under 6 months. And this was all by effectively laying out systems and policies and SOPs that really just helped take the company to the next level. And I already had a lot of background in doing real estate and building teams. And my personal passion is building teams and hiring people. And I really think that the backbone of any company, not just insurance, but the backbone of any good company is really its hiring system and the culture that involves both of those things together, right? So I was a top performer in selling life insurance. I wrote $30,000 in annual premium in my first 28 days. And that's something less than 1% of new agents, accomplish that in the time that they start. So I have been someone who has sold life insurance, never sold a single policy of Medicare, but I've been able to understand different sides of those parts of the business, right? So just to jump into the topic of today's discussion, right? It's just like licensed agents, there's pros, right? There's faster onboarding, right? You don't need to waste time teaching them everything from square zero, right? No licensing delays means immediate productivity. They hit the ground running. So that means like they already usually have some experience in selling. They know what carriers are. They know how the process works. They know how the sales process, goes. They know how they get paid. They know they have expectations, general expectations that help you be able to help them, right? And so what this means is that there's going to be immediate cash flow from their production and their performance, right? So when you hire agents that have already been seasoned, you're able to think with the monetization of their time, so you can leverage that a lot easier and immediately, right? Which is important because when you're getting a business off the ground, you really want to strive for getting as much money in the door as possible, right? So experience matters. Familiarity with compliance and sales processes that reduces training time and friction from start to launch and sales. So again, it's just a matter of it reduces the time and the gap that it takes to actually get the cash into the business. So that's very, very important, and it's very attractive, especially when you're building a new team, right? Now, here are some of the licensed agent cons, and specifically, licensed agents tend to bring a lot of baggage because look at it this way, like the really, really, really good agents usually, because there are exceptions, right? They don't leave where they're at if they have cemented themselves there and if they have planted their roots into that agency, right? Because that agency has taken care of them. Maybe they were the agency that they started with, so they have a lot of, um, you know, close relationships built there, and it's important for them to be loyal and stay with their team. Um, and sometimes when they don't have that, these are the people that are looking for a new place, a new place to hang their license. And so a lot of the times they come with baggage, and those bad habits are hard to break. And so it's very difficult to build a thriving culture if you're running into baggage and bad habits from agents that are now part of your company, right? Your business. So the other thing that happens is that there is a sort of resistance, right? Which goes along with what we're talking about, right? In that it's harder to mold them to the specific culture methods that you use. Again, because they have this baggage and this stuff that they've been through, it's super hard for them to trust you because they have already been burned, maybe more than once. And so it makes it very difficult for them to actually believe you, trust you, and be willing to play by your rules, right? Which ultimately leads to your culture, because all accountability and culture comes from being able to hold people to what expectations you have of what's okay and what's not okay. So these people have been through that before, and so they often don't trust what you have to say or what you're offering, and so it just builds a lot of resistance, which is perceivable by a lot of the other people in the company. And so it's just it's almost like a ticking time bomb a lot of the times before these people start to get at you or take it out on you because you somehow represent some past pain that they associate you with, right? So they have these loyalty issues a lot of the times. And again, guys, this isn't everybody. I don't want to put everyone into the same box. I have had amazing agents that have come over, and it's simply because the system failed them, or the agency rather failed them, like where they were. Just they weren't up to being able to help people like them, and so they wasted that talent, right? So but this creates loyalty issues. They're prone to chasing greener grass, right? Or shiny object syndrome, right? Greener grass syndrome, shiny object syndrome, whatever it is. It's like whenever the next best thing comes around, their attention and intention goes towards that thing. This makes it very difficult for you to build something long term because you will not be able to hold on to those people. Even if they're very productive and they get a lot of sales, it's something you can't break because they kind of feel like they have all the cards, right? Because they know how to sell. They know that if as long as you give them the right resources that they can produce, right? And so that makes them feel like they are invulnerable, or that they can break the rules, or that certain cultural habits that you're trying to put down are simply not something that they have to follow because they're productive, because they can produce, and because anyone would be happy to have them, right? So this can create loyalty issues. The last thing here on the cons is it can create impatience, right? There's a higher expectation, lower patience for results, right? So they've already gotten results elsewhere. They've already tasted success in different ways. So they'll have their own idea of what real success should be or should look like. And so unless you check all those boxes for them in a very fast timing, you as a new building agency, or building your new agency, it's going to be very hard to keep those people because they're impatient. Their expectation is that you should already have things running, everything should be perfect, right? And so it makes it very difficult to please those people and keep them, right? So those are some of those cons. Now, new unlicensed agents, right? These are the pros. Long-term retention, higher loyalty leads to lasting team members, right? So when you're taking someone from the beginning of their career path up to successfully doing business, right? You take them from pre-licensing all the way through licensing, training, getting them certified, helping them buy all their licenses in other states, helping them get their first deal, helping them understand the sale process, helping them close their first deals, like all that stuff is something that can never be replaced, right? It's like the first time is very impactful, right? Like I invite you guys to think about the first time that you had, your first kiss, right? People talk about that all the time. Like you never forget your first kiss or you never forget your first date. Maybe some people do, right? Whatever. But my point being like first times are very impressionable on people, especially in a new career, in a new industry, and something you're doing that you've never done before. If you've really been taken care of, then you don't want to go away from that. You want to stay with that team. You want to stay with those people. And that's why long-term retention comes better with having these newer agents or new recruits, because their loyalty is very lasting and you have left a very powerful impression on them. They have a culture first mindset, right? This is another thing. They embrace your values and your company vision. They're in this sponge receptive mode, right? Where everything and anything that you throw at them, they want to absorb it. If you've done a good job finding the right people, right? And that's a whole other topic of discussion. It's a whole other video, something I love to talk about as well. But my point being, like, if they're new and they really are there and they're engaged and you've done a good job in inspiring them to really chase this opportunity, which is selling insurance, then they will embrace your company's values and company vision a lot more readily and easily than the previous example of agents that have been, moved around, shopped around, have been traded to other teams, kind of like in the NBA, right? So they're highly coachable for the same reason, right? They have zero bad habits because they don't have any habits yet. So you get to form those good habits from the beginning and make sure that they do the things that they're supposed to do and don't do the things they're not supposed to do, which all of that ties into your culture as well. And the fresh approach, right? It brings energy and appreciation for mentorship. So aligning with all of that, everything that you tell them, they appreciate, they aspire to be like you, they look forward to having time with you, they value your time, they idolize, in many cases, you're who you are to them. You're this opinion leader, right? So it's really great to have new agents because of that, because it's what makes the blood and the heart of your agency if you're going for building something big long term with culture and a vision, right? So the cons with the new agents are licensing delays, extended training, higher support needs, and confidence building, right? So there's always going to be licensing delays. If you guys have done this before, you understand that, right? They're going to have to pass pre-licensing, which can take them some time. They're going to have to potentially test and pass the state exam for their state more than once. It took me 2 attempts in order to pass. And so it just makes it a little bit difficult because you want to increase their certainty and their confidence. And that kind of, it's very fragile at the beginning. And so even pre-licensing and licensing is huge, because unless they're having wins in the direction of attaining their license, you can lose them very quickly, right? So it extends training. It takes 2 to 4 weeks to train properly before production, and that's with good expectation. The higher support needs, they require more guidance, hand-holding for getting them their certifications, their licenses, what's NIPR, which carriers am I supposed to apply with, or how do I do this? And obviously you take a lot of that off of their plate if you have very good systems, especially with your hiring and onboarding. But the point is, it's a lot more work, right? And again, confidence building, which I touched a little bit at the beginning, is that they will not have the confidence because they've never done it. So you have to give them so much more confidence and recognition, validation, and assistance so that they can build that up, right? Now, what's the best strategy? This is my opinion, and this is why I made this video, is because I think that people often may be looking at this the wrong way. And I think that really the best strategy is doing both, right? Licensed agent equals speed. New agents equals stability, right? Because when you're starting, you need to make money as fast as possible. Well, that's going to come with guys that know what the heck they're doing. The new agents are not going to be able to get you that money fast. And guess what? If you don't have money coming in right away, you may never get that stability or have any long-term, right? So you have to be able to balance both of those things. So you need to fuel short-term revenue needs, right? Keep cash flowing while you get new agents developed. Okay. These professionals feed your pipeline with immediate sales. And then on the new agent side, then you're building a long-term loyal core, right? They grow with your company vision, right? And that doesn't mean that you're not going to keep all your other licensed agents that came in. Those guys, you can convert those guys and make them part of your long-term vision and plan. And there's another video that I can go into that, right? About how you incentivize those people to really stick around, right? Now, that fresh talent feeds your culture and it creates lasting organizational strength and health, right? So really the best strategy is to do both. And from real experience, you can build a hiring filter, right? A system that will help you identify quality licensed professionals, right? So that you can build them from the beginning. You can develop coaching systems so that they can get coached rapidly. So really remove as much time as possible for your new guys to make it to success. And then at the same time, provide some incentives and nurture, the culture enough so that when people that have been in other places come here, they're like, what is this? Where am I? Why do you guys, why does everything smell or look kind of different here, right? And you can create that for the guys that have been around as well. So nurture your culture, build an environment where both types can actually thrive together, okay? Embrace the yes and thinking, right? Stop choosing between options. Create teams that grow together, because ultimately you're going to need both things, especially if you want to scale fast, and grow something that is lasting and that is based on a future, right? So last thing that I wanted to share with you guys here, and it's that if you want to build your own funnel for free, you can join my free Skool community. That's skool.com/insurance agent hiring system. And I have given access to anyone that wants to come in there and get a step-by-step funnel walkthrough, free templates, and bonus training. I will show you exactly how I set up an Indeed to Skool hiring that removed all of the frustration from doing opportunity calls or group calls, or it really just removed the non-action takers from the action takers, and it only gave me the quality people, so that when I got on calls for hiring them or did group hiring calls, then it was with the people that I really wanted to work with anyways. So I gave all that information for free to show you how to set it up, and you can implement this system, save time, money, frustration, whatever it is, and start scaling. All right, so I'll see you guys on the next video, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the community, and talk to you soon. Appreciate you guys. Have a good one.